Absolutely electric news for the silver market today that I'm going to share with you. We've got a lot to talk about. Big, massive news from the Bank of Canada, from the ECB that will have significant impact on the precious metals markets. It's happening, guys. It's happening, and it's going to be big, big, big moves in the silver price and gold price. We have another state that's passed legal tender legislation. We're going to talk about this new legislation, right, that protects your ability as an American citizen to hold silver and gold. But the big news is what's happening for silver demand from industry. It's unbelievable. I cannot even fathom what is happening right now, and from so many different different factors involved in the industrial demand for silver. But we're going to look at just one. And I'm telling you, it's one we've talked about before, but this is all new territory when we look at it as a whole, what is happening in the world of silver. But let's get straight to the big breaking news of the day. Okay, yesterday, the Bank of Canada lowered interest rates. All right, this is a big deal. A massive deal. Here's an article from Reuters. Canada becomes the first G7 nation to cut interest rates. Guys, they're giving up on the fight on inflation. Cut interest rates, you could plug in there and take out those two words and put, decides to increase inflation. All right. It's going to be massive, massive inflation coming down the pike in the next 6 months. You mark my word, but there's even more. Let's just briefly see here. The Bank of Canada trimmed its key policy rate on Wednesday, the first G7 country to do so, in a widely expected move that will ease pressure on highly indebted consumers. Yeah, the people in Canada are not much better off than the people in the United States. But it's so critical that was the first country to cut interest rates. It's happening. This is massive, massive news. We're going to dig into more about why it's big news for the silver and gold price. But now, what did we hear this morning? Now, first Canada. Who's the next domino to fall? Let's go over to the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, whatever. I'm sure the people in Britain have interesting other ways to say what the BBC is. But nonetheless, the Eurozone cuts interest rates. The Eurozone. Who is this? I'm thinking I might have to get her a box of her own to keep her in. We've got a box for Jerome Powell. We've got a box for Janet Yellen. And this, my friends, not a flattering picture of Christine Lagarde. She's the head central banker in Europe, okay? Europe cut interest rates. Let this sink in. Sometimes it takes a day or two, and I'm here to help speed things up for us basement dwellers. It takes a day or two for things to sink in. Europe cut interest rates. Canada cut interest rates. Who do you think will be next to cut interest rates? Huh? All right, we're going to talk about why this could be explosive for the price of silver and gold. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's about to get more and more. The next 6 months, I'm telling you, it's going to be like the most exciting time that we've lived through. There is so much going on with the BRICS, with the big presidential election, with the economy crashing. It is going to be, I guess we could be stressed out about it, or we could be on our toes, prepared, and see what happens. And I could be dead wrong. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying. But I'm telling you, baby, it's going to get crazy. Get ready for prices to skyrocket at the grocery store. That may take 3 or 4 or 5 months out, but it is happening. The European Central Bank, also known as the ECB, headed up by this, how do I describe her? Well, anyway, her. Announced a cut in its main interest rate from an all-time high of 4% to 3.75%. That follows Canada's decision on Wednesday to cut the official lending rate. The ECB move comes as voters head to the polls. You ever notice they do all this right before elections? Do you think maybe they're going to do that here in the United States of America? Suddenly need to cut interest rates right before the presidential election? Of course. The central banks are not at all politically motivated in any way, shape, or form. The elections over the next 4 days, with the outcome expected to reflect people's unhappiness Oh, this is what gets me. Over cost of living pressures. Cutting interest rates is going to ignite inflation all around the world. And there's so many other factors. We're going to talk about this big June 9th date, how that could be inflationary. Cutting interest rates is inflationary, right? Supply chain constraints is inflationary. It's absolutely crazy. Lindsay James, investment strategist at Quilter, said that the move was widely anticipated, but would nevertheless come as a relief to consumers and businesses on the continent. I bet they're all feeling so relieved right now. The ECB has stolen a march on the Bank of England and the U.S. Federal Reserve, who are both potentially still a few months away from cutting and will breathe life into an economy that desperately needs some form of stimulus. Now, I don't know. Okay, so are they saying the economy stinks? Isn't that what she said? If you say that you desperately need a form of stimulus, that would mean that things are bad. This, right? Cutting interest rates is going to cause inflation. And we have an economy that is in desperate need of stimulus. That would be a stagnant economy. That would be stagflation. That would be the 1970s all over again. Guys, you probably get sick of hearing me say this, but it's so important for us. It's critical for us to remember that the 1970s were one of the most lucrative times on the history of the planet for precious metals prices. And it's because of stagflation. It's because of situations like this. But actually, you want the bonus kicker? Okay? You want the bonus kicker? Let me come back to you so we can look each other in the eye here. The bonus kicker is things are more screwed up now, right? Everything is much more exaggerated, accentuated, more severe. I don't know all the other words we could use to describe the financially, monetarily, geopolitically. Things are more screwed up now than they were in the 1970s. So we could have unthinkable situations unfold in the precious. There were no BRICS countries in the 1970s. In the 1970s, the United States was effectively still flexing its muscles throughout the world, right? In the 1970s, we were able to put into effect the petrodollar, which allowed us to borrow money from the world. And we're going to talk about that's June 9th. That could be coming to an end. We didn't have the BRICS back then. We didn't have about half the world saying, you can stick it where the sun doesn't shine, United States of America. I don't like it. It's not your fault. It's not my fault, but it's the reality of the situation we're in right now. And now they're going to cut interest rates because the economy desperately needs stimulus. Do they think we're stupid? What do you think's going to happen to the dollar? We're going to tie all this together and talk about what's going to happen to the dollar and what's going to happen to the metals prices, okay? It's just the hens have come home to roost. All right, let's all have a quick sip of coffee, and we're going to go out to, I'm really starting to like this, and I think you will as well. Let's go out to FX Empire and just take a quick look at what they're saying about gold, silver, and platinum, okay? Have a drink of coffee. There's that gold chart. We cannot look at that enough, right? We cannot look at that enough. Now, the update on gold moved above 2350 level as traders focused on the pullback in treasury yields. Stronger dollar did not put any pressure on precious metals markets today. Yes, no joke, because everybody knows the quote-unquote strong dollar is just that, a joke. It's comparing the dollar against the yen and the euro and a bunch of other cruddy currencies. The gig is up. Gold and silver, and you, right, the viewer, right, what do you think, right? You're smart, right? Gold and silver are smart. Investors in gold and silver are smart. They know the gig is up right now. Gold has called the bluff, right? The strong dollar. Whatever. It doesn't care. In case gold settles above 2350, it could head up to 2390 or 2400. We likey that. Silver. We're going to take a look here. Let's go out there right now quickly and take a look and whoa, we'll do an update. This changes. Okay. Gold's up $4, $23.60 per ounce. Silver up 38 cents. Pretty good. $30.41. We're back above, for right now, guys, above $30 per ounce. If you want to get your hands on some silver, gold, or platinum group metals, we all need to say thank you to channel sponsor Pembex. Look, this show is not possible without the generous support of Pembex, but there's a lot more to it than that. They're a company that I found before they sponsored Ron's Basement that I could trust for my precious metal purchase needs. Long before they sponsored Ron's Basement, I did my homework on the company. I'd encourage you to do that as well. I compared prices. I looked at their selection, and I gave Pembex a chance. I was a happy customer from day one. And then, I don't know, it was like 6 or 5 months later, we talked about sponsoring the channel, and it's gone great ever since. I continue to buy my metals from Pembex. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just recommending that you might benefit from checking out Pembex. Throw them into the mix next time you're shopping online for precious metals. And if you ever get to a point where you're thinking about converting all or part of a precious metals IRA, talk to them about that as well, because you always want to get the most metal for your money. Let's take a look at silver. I still like the look of that chart. Do you? Huh? Do you notice this? Up, up, up. Look, February, my birthday, silver, $22. Today, silver, right? We're not going to say $10 higher, but almost $10 higher. See what they say about the silver market. It rebounds after Tuesday sell-off. Gold-silver ratio pulled back towards the 78 level, almost 80 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. Are you kidding me? A move above the psychologically important $30 level will push silver towards resistance at 30.90 to 31.20. Platinum, I think, was pulling back a little bit, but platinum gained some ground amid broad rebound in precious metals markets. In case platinum climbs above $1,000, it will get to the test of the resistance at 1,010 or 1,020. So that's the latest there. Let's go check out quickly. I thought this was interesting. Our friend, the Shanghai Ghost, guys, this is where silver AG closed on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, the physical silver market in China last night. Okay, $34.34, up almost 3% in China. All right, this, I mean, what? That's $4 higher than what we're seeing here in the United States. Yes, I mean, that is crazy. That's like 12 or 13% higher. And that is a physical market. We can't drive that point home enough. The Shanghai Gold Exchange is a physical market, not a leveraged unicorn fart dust, paper, derivative, whatever you want to call it, make-believe, fantasy island, COMEX, LBMA. The LBMA... Okay, thank you, Susie. Everybody say hi to Susie. Thank you, Susie. The London market's, I think, even worse than the U.S. market. It's all paper. It's all make-believe. And they have, we're going to get more into that here in just 1 second, okay? Here we go. All right, let's go over to, let's say hi to everybody. First, I want to say hello and thank you for being here. It's a big deal you're here. Please give this a thumbs up. Please support our sponsors. Please come back, okay? This is not possible without you. It's a big deal you're here. We got a lot more really crazy, shocking, okay? Electric, shocking, literally silver information we're going to cover. But first, we haven't done this for a while. Today's a special day. We've got 100 thumbs up. We're going to ping the old silver round we got from Silvershire 10 times, okay? 10 times to say thank you. Who doesn't love to listen to silver ping? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's go out here and Silver Academy, our friend John Little. Silver hits $34.42, up 3.4% on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, now posting a 13, I appreciate John doing the math for us, 0.42% arbitrage spread. Don't forget, Silver Academy. the Silver Industry Substack. You'll get awesome emails every day. There's like a free one. There's one you can pay for. I'm not getting any commission off this, anything like that. I just really believe in this content. Metals moving fast from the west to the east. That's not it. Silver on fire, up 4%. I think you wrote this in the middle of the night. Silver premiums remain resilient on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, closing at $4 an ounce. The metal is trading $34.42. There's some more info. Here we go. Here's the silver premiums. 5-day moving average since May, right? 2%, 3. Look, it's just going up and up and up because the Chinese want all the silver. And you're going to understand why even more when I tell you about this electric news in the silver market. Okay. That's the Shanghai. Oh, here, this is crazy. According to David Jensen, bullion banks have a short position on silver in London alone, estimated at between 5 billion and 8 billion ounces. Yes, that's billions of ounces in the global annual silver market. That is about 1.2 billion ounces. Total amount of silver produced from all the mines in the world, from all the scrap, from all the recycling, whatever, right? We'll average down and say about 1 billion. But there's almost between 5 and 8 times more short, not just paper contracts, short. That means they sold that silver and they're going to be required to buy it back in the future. That's how you close. So guys, this is crazy. Okay. Let's just review quickly. Meanwhile, in Shanghai, for those unaware of the importance of the Shanghai Gold Exchange, you have to deposit a bar to be able to trade it in the spot market. Compare that to London, where all the trading is paper and pretty much unbacked. How long until the West realizes you cannot stop price rises on a physical product like silver, which is facing strong demand by selling paper IOUs? And let's just touch on Mexico and what John brings up here as well. Production down 27%. Mexico is the world's biggest silver producer. Down 27% over the last 19 months. Their new president, they just elected a new president in Mexico who's going along with the previous president that was anti-mining. Like they want to shut down open pit mines. Mexico is the world's biggest silver producer. What does that tell us about the future supply of silver? Okay. There we go. All right. So on to that. Let's talk about quickly. Let's get back and say hello. There we go. Here we are. Hey guys, welcome back to the basement. What's going on June 9th? Are you hearing this? Have you heard about June 9th? Have you heard what's happening June 9th? We'll talk about it quickly. June 9th, from what people are saying, is going to be kind of sort of the end of the petrodollar. Now, we talked about this earlier, the potential for massive inflation. And you can talk all types of complicated economic terms about everything else, but there's nothing as good for the price of metals as inflation, okay? Silver and gold, the devaluation of the dollar. When the petrodollar, as it begins to die, right? And this is not going to happen overnight, but as less and less countries continue to not need dollars to buy oil, all those dollars are out there. Guess where they come? They come flooding back to the United States. It's deflationary, or it's a devaluing force on the US dollar. On top of the massive amounts of debt we already have, we could see a growing, continuing wave of dollars coming back to the United States. And the more dollars there are, guys, that nobody wants, nobody needs to buy oil anymore. And again, I'm not saying this is going to happen, on Sunday night, right? Or anything like that, but it's the massive trend. Think about this, right? People don't need dollars. If people don't need something, doesn't it become worth less, right? Okay. And when the dollar becomes worth less, don't the prices of all goods and services go up and up and up? Think about it. Okay. And when prices go up and up, which we're seeing every day, while at the same time, right? Because of gross mismanagement of our economy, right? We have a stagnating economy, a slowing economy, rising prices, slowing economy. It's the S word. It's our top secret Ron's Basement S word. It's our favorite word. It's stagflation. And I'm telling you, we cannot underestimate how powerful that could be for the silver and gold prices. Thank you, Neil, for the super chat. And Neil says, America has the largest oil reserves in the world. Go petrodollar. Yeah, we do, right? We've got tons of oil. It's just a bizarro world. And thank you, Neil, for pointing that out. Oh, and we heard something. Do you guys know? This is Susie right here. Hey, Susie, could you say something? I want to hear if everybody can hear you when you talk.
I was just, did you already recognize Neil?
Yes, I did. Yep, I did.
Yeah. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, guys, let me know if you can hear Susie, and then she'll report back to me later. Yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Have a great day. Thanks for being
Okay.
here.
All right, back to the meat. So the petrodollar is a big deal. Nobody wants the dollar. Nobody. All right? Nobody. And it's going to happen slowly, and then it's going to happen quickly, and it could get ugly. And yes, we might be having World War III. We won't go down that path, right? But there's so much. I'm telling you, in the next 6 months, it is exciting and frightening, and we don't want anybody in the world to get hurt, but it is a very interesting time. Are you feeling it? Does it feel that way to you? I mean, I'm 54 years old, and no joke, right? I cannot remember a time in my life where things seemed so on edge, so scary, right? I mean, it's just there are so many factors at play that it's almost too much to think about, and it's better off just kind of, I guess, owning some physical metals and feeling like, well, we're prepared, right? Okay. What state? Did you hear this? Right? What state? Do you know which state recently, who's the latest state to recently pass legal tender legislation? This comes from silverseek.com. Louisiana reaffirms gold and silver as legal tender. It's happening. It's growing. Okay. Ooh, I like the look of that, but I think that's not up to date. Let's run out real quick just for fun. Take your blood pressure medicine. Okay. Come on, silver. Come on. 42 cents. Okay, we'll take it. Silver up 42 cents live in the basement. Louisiana, right? That's where Buddy Rumble, Louisiana Gold Guru's from. Reaffirms gold and silver as legal tender. JP Cortez, a previous, easy for me to say, previous desk guest on Ron's Basement. That's 24. Okay. I'm sorry. I was looking at the gold to silver ratio over here and I had a heart attack. I'm like, silver's down 99 cents. What happened? That's not the case. Okay. That's the gold to silver ratio, currently sitting at 77.5. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry has signed a new law reaffirming gold and silver as legal tender, making a symbolic statement in favor of sound money principles. Sponsored by Senator Mark Abraham, marks the sixth pro-sound money bill passed by a state this year. 6 bills were passed, 6 states this year, underscoring a growing national trend. It's happening, guys, little by little. I've been following this story now for 2 years, and there were people like Pat Holland from the Missouri Freedom Initiative, Daniel Diaz from Citizens for Sound Money, right, that have been working on this on a nationwide basis, but state by state, right, little by little, chip by chip, and these chips are turning into big rocks. We are getting legal tender legislation in this country. Louisiana Sound Money Bill, I'm reading the yellow part here, simply affirms that, quote, any gold or silver coin, specie, or bullion issued by the United States government is considered legal tender whenever voluntarily agreed upon by both parties to a contract. The measure enjoyed popular support, receiving only 1 no vote on the floor throughout the Louisiana House and Senate. This concept is consistent with the U.S. Constitution. In fact, Article 1, Section 10 reads, no state shall coin money, emit bills of credit, or make anything but gold and silver coin a legal coin, a tender in payment of debts. Sorry, I misread that. All right, let's read the states. Alabama, Utah, Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Kentucky all passed legislation in 2024 ending sales and capital gains tax on precious metals, declaring that central bank digital currencies are not valid money in their state, or empowering state treasurers to invest the funds in gold and silver. Louisiana is the 6th state to enact sound money laws this year, with 5 other states doing so. Why is that important to you as a silver and gold investor? You probably don't live in Louisiana, okay? You probably don't. But on a state-by-state basis, as these states continue to pass this legislation, it protects our rights as citizens to hold silver and gold. And it will continue to grow, and we will continue to be supportive. Let's talk about absolute craziness in silver demand, okay? You've heard the Silver Institute get criticized, but what if there's this source of demand that is just literally unbelievable? And it was like last night, as I wasn't even really looking for this, it fell in my lap, but I was like, I got to share this with the basement dwellers, because we all know this is going on, okay? But when you look at this information that I put together, I think it's just absolutely overwhelming, the amount of silver that is going to be demanded by the solar industry alone. Okay, we're not talking about medical, sanitation, electronic microchips. We are only talking about right now solar demand. And that alone, we don't even have to talk about the other stuff. Although it's great, it's there. We know silver has all these wonderful qualities. But the demand for, and we know this top analyst, what did he tell us? Right? The guy from TD Securities. He talked about in the next year or two, right, a squeeze, that we could have a squeeze in the price of silver because the physical demand is so huge. What did we see earlier when we looked at the price of silver in China? What is that telling us, right? Why is the price of physical silver in China $4 per ounce more than it is in the United States? I wonder, right? Why is India importing 120 million ounces of silver during the first quarter? I wonder, right? And guys, what does it mean to you when you think about the fact that, yeah, sure. And the guy from TD Securities talked about this as well. The big fancy, he's not an analyst, he's a strategist. Anyway, talked about the fact that, yeah, sure, there's a big above ground supply of silver stored up. Do you have part of it in your basement? Yes, you do. Right? Do you? Yes. But there's this big, massive, there's the world is demanding all this more silver than's being produced. But that's okay. That's okay, because there's this massive above ground supply that'll last forever. No, it won't. Right? It won't. And even the guy from TD Security said he thinks that level that people say is above ground, which is not, it's finite. It's finite, okay? And it's going down because every year they're sucking more and more. It's like, what, we're in our 5th year of a silver deficit? So think about this. Think about that, right? Right? You've got, it's crazy. Okay, you have the world demanding so much more silver than is being produced. You have the demand growing. And sure, they're sucking little bits out of the above ground supply, but that above ground supply is shrinking, right? Because we're demanding more than we're taking in. Now listen to this. Woo, buckle in, because we're going to go on an electric solar. Okay, time for, almost knocked my water over. Hold on here. I'm going to ring the cowbell for you basement dwellers. That's for 200 thumbs up. That's a basement tradition. But let's go on this unbelievable ride. First, I want you to, you got to believe me on this. And then I'm going to give you proof. On average, every solar panel that you look at, next time you look at a solar panel, envision 2/3 of an ounce of silver. Okay? Here it is right here. 20 grams, which, unless I'm really screwed up, is 2/3 of an ounce of silver. The use of silver in solar panels. The average solar panel contains, right? Okay, I barely exaggerated. 0.643. 20 grams of silver. Okay. According to the Silver Institute, this added up to 140. Well, nobody believes the Silver Institute, but here's the key. Each solar panel you look at, guys, has 2/3 of an ounce of silver in it. Now, this is where it gets crazy, okay? The new technology uses more silver per panel. The newer types of solar panels, the current panels use 2/3 of an ounce, okay? They're called PERC panels. The newer panels are called TOPCon. And wait till you hear this. Because I have proof. Hold on here. Here we go. This is from Solar Magazine. What a better source that we could ask for. Solar cell technology used to manufacture PV modules is constantly evolving as new, more advanced, and more efficient technologies are developed. Tunnel oxide passivated contact. TOPCon solar technology is a new development with potential to replace the PERC, passivity emitted rear contact, PERC, in high efficient emitter rear, whatever. PERC and PERT. PERC and PERT are the current ones. TOPCon is the new type of cell that's being developed. TOPCon solar cells represent an upgrade and more efficient technology compared to the older cells. This is what I want you to see. Orange. The main setback of this new technology, as compared to the current technology, the PERC-PERT, is that TOPCon solar cells require a larger amount of silver for production. The silver increase translates into a higher manufacturing price. However, new developments might prove successful in reducing the required amount of silver, might prove successful, while still delivering similar or even higher efficiencies and reducing production costs. So they're telling us that the new cells, hold on 1 second for me, guys. Hold on. The new technology uses more silver per cell. That's good news, okay? Oh, they might find a way to get that level down, okay? Might, number one, okay? If we just look out the next 1 to 2, 3, 4 years, they aren't going to figure out a way to get rid of the silver or to reduce it, okay? So that's not going anywhere. And this is where it gets absolutely staggering. So buckle in, because now we're going to take a look. And what they call, the fancy term they use, you want to learn a fancy term, is thrifting, figuring out a way to use less silver. But they're not, the people I'm talking to is saying that might be 2 to 3 years out if it were even to happen. Okay, so let's go to this article. And do you think the world's biggest solar farm, this is from Microsoft, the world's biggest solar farm goes online, big enough to power a country? Okay, there. Look at all those. Each one of those are probably the older form. Each one of those has 2/3 of an ounce of silver that's gone, right? If it possibly could ever be recycled, that's not going to be for 15 or 20 years. So when you look at that, that's each one of those has 2/3 of an ounce of silver. And I think when I say each one, I mean, like if you look down here, what is there, 4 up in that row? Each one of those 4, what's 4 times 2/3? Like an ounce and a half, right? 4 times 2/3, 8/3. No, more than, I think an ounce, 2 and 2/3 ounces. Anyway, I digress. The world's biggest solar plant has come online in China, capable of powering a small country with its annual capacity of more than 6 billion kilowatts. Okay. Here, this is what's getting crazy. The facility in a desert region, northwest province of Xinjiang, covers 200,000 acres, roughly the same area as New York City. Okay, that's China. We already know China's sucking in all the silver for their electric cars and for microchips and everything else. Guys, 200,000 acres, 1 solar park, one solar farm, whatever they call it. Okay. Does it get crazier? Does it? You want to get crazier? This is even crazier. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say two more times. One more time now. Each one of those panels has 2/3 of an ounce of silver in it that's gone bye-bye, right? Gone for a long, long time, if it's ever able to be recycled. Okay, let's go to this next article. CNN, the Children's News Network. What's going on in India? Okay, a coal billionaire builds the world's biggest clean energy plant, and it's 5 times the size of Paris. Does it seem to you that China and India are in like a contest to see who can build the world's biggest solar farms? Right? Look at this. Look. Well, you can't really see them in that picture, but anyway, that's those will be millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of ounces of silver gone. 5 times the size of Paris. Visible from space. The world's biggest energy plant. Enough electricity to power Switzerland. The demand for silver, enough to wipe out the COMEX and the LBMA. The scale of the project transforming the barren salt desert on the edge of Western India into one of the most important sources of clean energy anywhere on the planet is so overwhelming, the man in charge can't keep up. I don't even do the math anymore, Sagar Adnani said. Well, Sagar, you better be buying a lot of silver. And based upon recent data we've got from India, they are indeed. And we got more. It gets more interesting, but let's review something also about solar, okay? This is not Ron's Basement Solar Channel, but solar is so critical to the demand profile for silver right now. And again, there's all these other uses, right? But I want you to think about something about solar. Number one, it's clean energy. We know that's all the rage, right? It's clean energy. But something that nobody else talks about. Here's a little Ron's Basement insight that us basement dwellers will know that most other people won't talk about. When you think about solar, it's like it's the easiest, most immediate, reliable form of electricity. All those people in India and China that are getting rich, right? They're in a different situation than in America. Their middle class, their consumer class is growing, right? And don't forget, combined, India and China have 2.8 billion people. So we got hundreds of millions of people that are moving out of dirt floor huts into little houses, buying refrigerators for the first time, buying television sets for the first time, needing electricity for the first time. What's the most immediate, clean, environmentally friendly way for those people to get electricity? Solar. Whether it's at a giant solar farm like they're building there, or if they stick some panels on their roof, it doesn't matter. They all take at least 2/3 of an ounce of silver. They stick a panel on. Think how easy it is to provide. Let's say you got 10,000 people in a village in India that you want to provide electricity to. Are you going to build a nuclear plant? Right? It'll take 15 years. It'll take 10 years. I think nuclear is a great way to produce electricity. I'm not anti-nuclear, right? But realistically, are you going to build a nuclear plant? Are you going to build a coal plant? Oh, not coal. A bunch of my neighbors work for St. Louis was the coal capital of the United States. Coal, bad, right? We've been told that, right? Coal's bad. No. Are they going to put up giant wind for those? The big giant propeller things are the stupidest thing in the world. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be so rude. Anyone who's in favor of wind electricity, I don't get it. When I look at that, I don't see that being. I drive by them, like when we go to Wisconsin, and half the time they're not spinning. And these massive, I'm like, those got to cost a lot of money. They got to be dangerous to work on. So anyway, I digress. These people, billions in China and India that are getting electricity for the first time, it's plug and play, right? Solar, green, it's immediate. And also, if they stick them on their roof or in their backyard, you don't need to run miles of high tension distribution wires and distribution networks and all that. I'm telling you, this is a recent, for me, revelation. But are you feeling this? I'm really becoming a believer in this massive solar revolution that's taking over the world, and it's going to be very, very good for the silver market. I digress. We got a few more. It's unbelievable. All this just came and said, you need to share this, Ron, with the basement dwellers. Okay. Here's a quick article. We won't dig deep into this one. Some countries could meet their total electricity needs from floating solar panels. Okay, look, floating panels, and look at all those ounces of silver stacked up. We know how heavy silver is. We don't want that silver to sink to the bottom of the sea. Floating solar panels could supply all the electricity needs. New research has shown the study by researchers from Bangor and Lancaster universities and the UK Center for Ecology and Hydrology aimed to calculate the global potential for deploying low-carbon floating solar arrays. The researchers calculated the daily electric outputs. When you get into all these volts and watts, anyway, more good news. Now, let's go to this one. Our friends at the Silver Academy again. Yeah, he's going to start charging me for using all this great information he puts out. The number of solar installations. What about the United States? Oh, yeah, we forgot about that. The richest country in the world, right? Exceptional. Will double. Solar installations will double by 2030 and triple by 2034. So it goes on here as well. This gives all the different, here, 1 gigawatt of silver usage is given as 500,000 ounces. All right. It's just massive, guy. Silver use by the solar industry is the number 3 ranked industry. So I'm not questioning John. I know that's the official. I think solar, I just in the last week, I've become more, and we know the military is number 1 and aerospace number 2. Oh my gosh. So if that is indeed true, right? I mean, I can't believe what's going on with silver and solar but the military could be even higher. Unbelievable developments. Up. Are we there? Did I lose? Are we still live? Hello? Okay. I think we're still live. Okay. I'm going to remind you one last time. I said one more time. Each of those solar panels has 2/3 of an ounce of silver, and that's projected to go way, way higher. Wow. Unbelievable. Don the Brain said something last night. Okay, for those of you who are invested in precious metal mining stocks, I am invested in precious metal mining stocks. I own shares in First Mining Gold, channel sponsor. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. I've owned shares in that company for years. I only take sponsorships from companies that I do business with, okay, that I own or do business with. That's why I'm so happy about Pimbex, right? Also, I've owned shares in Fortuna Silver. Yesterday was a very difficult day for Fortuna Silver. We're going to talk about that a little bit here in a second, okay? But that actually is my largest single holding. I never am giving you financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I'll share with you what I do, but bear in mind, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not, and I'm often right, but I'm also wrong from time to time. So, when I talk to you about what I do, you need to do your own due diligence and make your own decisions. But Don the Brain, right? This is one of the smartest guys on the planet. Okay. And I'm connected to him. Very fortunate, Don. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate. We were talking last night and he said, this is a fact. The most powerful things are often the most simple, right? He said, Ronnie, everybody sees the value in gold and silver. The world, right, is seen right now before our very eyes. We're living through a transformative time right now, guys. What does that mean, right? We're seeing the value. I'm not talking about the price, but we're going to see the price, unicorn fart dust, dollars, fiat, whatever, of gold and silver continue to go higher. That's what I believe. But what people are really beginning to rediscover, I think that's the best way to describe it. You and I rediscovered it, partially 20 years ago and more so over the last decades, and in particular over the last couple years. Rediscover the value, right? Rediscovering the real value of precious metals, right? And it's happening all over the world, everywhere. But Don the Brain said this, okay? the world has yet to realize the value in the companies that dig it up out of the ground, the mining companies. Guys, there's a huge lag, okay? I was talking with another smart friend of mine, Mr. M, last night, I'll call him. He's a successful architect, very smart guy, okay? And we were talking about the mining. Okay, there's a big lag, okay? This big, massive lag between the gold price and the silver price. We're still at really historically very high gold to silver ratio. It's like an elastic band, right? Remember? All right, I'll just show you this quickly. This is the gold price, right? The gold truck. I thought I had it written on there. Anyway, the band is the gold to silver ratio. This is the silver price. Gold has been going, moving, right? Silver has been coming along, but this difference, this gold to silver ratio is still, it's like a bungee cord. It's still very stretched, even at 80. That's why people talk about a slingshot move, right? Some people say, oh, it could get to 1-to-1. I don't think that'll happen, right? I think that's very out of the question. But historically, we've had the gold to silver ratio get to like 15-to-1, 20-to-1, 30-to-1, even in recent times. The recent average, when I look at it, is more like 60-to-1. But what's even more interesting is you've got gold, you've got silver, and then even behind silver, lagging, are like silver miners that have just been beaten to a pulp, right? So we were talking about this, like this move in silver slingshot, and then the miners who are connected by another rubber band, sorry, I don't have any more rubber bands, could even go further. I mean, we've seen situations in the past when mining stocks, and don't make any investment decisions or anything, but we've seen mining stocks literally during previous bull markets go up 10 times in value, 20 times, some of them even like 100 times in value, right? We're talking about stocks that were trading for $1.
300.
Thank you, Susie. $1 going up to $100 a share. I mean, the potential, the leverage is there, and just the value, in my opinion, is astounding. I want to talk about quickly. Let's go look at Fortuna Silver and see how they're doing today. Yesterday was a tough day for Fortuna. I'm going to be talking with Jorge Ganoza here in a little bit later this morning, so you can look for an interview with him later tonight. And let's go out and take a look and see how they're doing today. They put out some more information today. Okay, holding steady today. Fortuna is refinancing some of their debt. I'm going to get more information on that, like I said, later today. I want to draw your attention to one thing with Fortuna, though. Year to date. Hold on here. Okay, you can see this chart here. Sure, yesterday was a very no fun day for anyone who owns. I mean, the stock was recently at $6.24, down to $5. Okay, but guys, even if we go back to February, just of this year, the stock was around $2.50 per share, right? I mean, really, in the last 3 months, even where we are now, the stock is up almost 100%. I'm never giving financial advice. You know, they became an official sponsor of the channel back here when it was around a little under $4 per share. I guess what I'm trying to drive home here is, you know, Fortuna, yes, yesterday was a difficult day. I think it was a market overreaction to what's going on. But overall, Fortuna has been delivering, and I believe still a very, very attractive and good a good company. But like I said, look for an interview between myself and the CEO, Jorge Ganoza, later today. Thank you, Derek, for the super chat. Wow, that's crazy. What other proof do we have? Thank you. Super appreciated. You know what? Let's put this up here. We got more to talk about, guys. And here we go. Thank you for the super chat. And there we go. Uh-oh. That's an example. I don't want that up. Welcome to the basement. Yes. Let's touch on this. right? Just the worldwide. Not that. Here we go from Bloomberg. I found this interesting. Bloomberg is now reporting this, right? We already talked about this, but now Bloomberg is telling us you can now buy gold bars from vending machines in South Korea. We covered this story, but what we want to keep in mind is this is mainstream media. This is kind of one of the more recent mainstream media mentions that I've heard of gold and silver. So we want to keep an eye. That's good, right? People all over the world are realizing the benefits of getting into gold and silver. This is very interesting. A chart from Bo Ronnie. Global broad money supply reached 129. We talked about inflation. We talked about how inflation is so bullish for the gold and silver price. Global broad money supply reached 129 trillion in December of 2023. Look at the growth from 2000 through 2023. We went from 26 trillion. Okay, that wasn't that long ago. Do you remember where you were on Y2K? I do, right? There was $26 trillion in money supply in the world, all the way up to 129. Now, where it gets interesting and shows us how devalued all this paper money has become, that shows almost a five-fold increase over that period of time. At the same time, the nominal GDP only went up by 3 times. Real GDP only went up by 2 times, okay? And CPI only up by 2.6. Guys, inflation's got a lot of catching up to do. I'm telling you, we are going to be in for a very interesting coming number of months, okay? This next 6 months, I believe the hens really do come home to roost. So much happening in the world. What do you think? Oh, yep, I got to ring the gong. I'll ring that here in 1 second. I got some key points I want to talk about, though. 6 months. Put it in your head. Can I still say, well, now 5.5 months? It's happening, okay? Major announcements, potential, most likely out of the BRICS. Major escalation in war in Europe, okay? Major issues in the United States, probably socially. I think we can say politically, we got major issues in the United States. The world continuing this kind of slow motion train wreck with the US dollar, which is going to push all kinds of dollars. The petrodollar falling apart. You cannot it's so critical for you to understand why that alone, right? They're not going to talk about it on CNN. They aren't going to talk about it on Fox News. They aren't going to talk about it on any mainstream media, right? The fact that this petrodollar falling apart is in some ways could be, if this all comes to fruition, a catastrophic outcome for the United States, for inflation. I'm telling you, the middle American who doesn't own anything right now, who doesn't own a home, maybe doesn't own a car, is really just, renting a place to live, living paycheck to paycheck, is in for some very difficult times ahead. If you're in that situation, man, get yourself out of debt, right? I say that to everybody. Try to save up some money, right? Maybe buy some silver, buy a little bit of gold, whatever you can to prepare yourself. I could be dead wrong. Maybe, and I will sit here. Election day is D-Day. If we've not had massive issues by that day, I will sit down here and tell you how wrong I was. But I almost know in my gut that we're heading toward what, like there's just too many factors out there that are coming together that it's inevitable that we're going to have some difficult times. It doesn't feel possible that we don't. I hope I'm wrong. I do want to say thank you for being here. Oh, I got to ring that gong. Susie would have killed me. I'm going to ring the gong for 300 thumbs up. The old golden gong for you basement dwellers. Look at that thing shimmering, huh? Yeah. I wish it was gold. Probably would be so heavy I couldn't hold it. 300 thumbs up, 3 rings of the gong. Hey, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to dive into the comments. I want to say, this morning I noticed ODBG. Do you guys know who ODBG is? That would be Old Dirty Bastard Garage. I crowned him the guy with the best username on the internet. He was the first one here today. Thank you, ODBG, for being here. But thank you guys, each and every one of you, man. We are silver and gold enthusiasts. Are you scared? Do we have reason to be scared? Okay. Anybody have a question? Gong on. Yes. Nice to see Ron still plugging away. A face for radio. Hello, Annie Oakley. Hello, Patrick Pearl. Expect some more antics. Yeah, there's a lot of. Hey, let's go out and do an update on the silver price, guys. That's take your blood pressure medicine. Everybody take a deep breath. This is not the current price. So let's do an update. The way things are moving, I'm going to press the refresh here. I'm telling you, we could have gold and silver down, or it could be up a lot different from here. So up 53 cents. Okay, we'll take that. Good.